Hi, so if you are looking into buying some new pedals, especially if you are a beginner coming from something like a G29, you should listen to this first. Hello and welcome back to the Ozzoy versus bottom split. Like and subscribe, it really helps. So I have been making a series of videos. This is the fourth or fifth one about beginners advice or advice to beginners, and this is one of them. So this is especially for the ones who are still rocking this. So you are still rocking the G29 pedal set. These are saddled in my shoulder because they are heavy as hell. So this is the pedal set that comes with the G29. That it's over there, overlooking the pedals, and just a little bit of a technical explanation about these. So these are considered potentiometer pedals, which means that let's focus on the brake pedal. If you'll understand why in a second, but the way this device measures how much you are braking is by how far it travels. Okay, so this is the accelerator, this is the clutch, and this is the brake. Usually the brake is the stiffer of all three, or two if you have just the accelerator and the clutch. So the brake, this will evaluate how much you are braking by travel distance. So let's say you want to brake 80%, you need to brake as further as 80% is all about. So I'm going to use the clutch because it's more visible, but imagine this is the brake. So this is heavy. So if you want to brake 80%, you need to press this 80%. Okay, so this will register how much you are braking by the travel distance. Of course, it will be on the brake pedal, but this one is a little bit more visible. So you need to push this back 80% of this travel distance to effectively be braking 80%. This is called the potentiometer braking system, or the pressure system. It works, but the way that this works is that you need to press it as further as 80% of pressure. So it's measuring by distance. So if you want to brake every single time by 80%, you need to push the brake always the same distance. Okay, that's how you control how much brake pressure you are applying to the car on the sim. This is fine. This is a very good system. However, you have the usual update path for this type of brake system, and this is not the only. The G29 works like this, and other pedal sets of its kind, like Thrustmaster. So everything that is not load cell should be considered pressure by potentiometer. So just wrap this up so I don't make this too long. So you have to press always the same amount. So 80%, 80%, 80%. So it's by travel. Then you have for example, the load cell system. Let me just put this down. So the load cell system like this one that I have, I'm not endorsed by Fanatec. I'm not endorsed by Logitech. They give me no money for. So just full disclosure, I have no sponsorship with them, but I'm willing to get some if they want. So Logitech, Fanatec, if you want to sponsor this channel, I am more than happy to accept. So yeah, going on. You have these ones, for example, that I consider the load cell kits. Okay, so this is the term is load cell. Okay, so load cell means that this is going to measure how much you brake by intensity, by the push. Okay, so the other ones are by travel distance. This is how hard you kick them. Okay, so some say that travel distance is better to create muscle memory. So if you are always braking for the most part at 80%, some people think that or feel that by travel distance their brains work better like that. So their brains can actually function by travel distance on the foot, which is fine. Some say that by brake pressure, they can be more consistent. So it means that by applying the same pressure every single time, okay, so it's not by travel, okay, it's by how hard you push them. Because this pedal set here, this load cell brake pedal, and load cell usually, for the most part, or always applies to brake pedals. It's how if you try to, with your bare hands, press this pedal when it's out of the box, you are unable to, unless you are the Hulk or something like that. This is made to be measured by the strength of your leg. And without being configured, it's very, very, very stiff, impossible to press with your bare hands. I was at the time very inexperienced, and I tried to use my hands to force the pressure, and it wouldn't move. And I thought, this is broken. Now it's just as it is. So if you cannot push it with your hand, it's normal. This only becomes pushable in a way with your leg and with the software enabled. On the software, you can decide how hard you need to push to get more brake actuation. How much strength you have to do. You have to apply with your leg to apply brake pressure. This is total personal preference. I tried to have this load cell brake at full blast, and it just was, I was getting my leg too tired. So it's around 60% at the point at right now. So it's personal preference, completely personal preference. So you get the kit and you set that up. However, to get this kit, to have this brake pedal functional, you need to buy the full pedal set. Okay, so you get these guys here. This is hard. The boxes are huge. Usually the boxes are back there. So you get the CSL pedals, okay, and then you get your CSL Load Cell kit. So it's a kit now. It's available for €200. It's a big step in terms of commitment. So €200 just for this kit. It's more expensive than the Logitech G29 full kit. So it's a commitment. But if you want some advice, if you want to upgrade your simrig so the first thing you should upgrade are the pedal. It's a brake pedal, or the full pedal set if you are able to. So the accelerator, it doesn't improve that much from this to the G29s. It's just something of pressure. It's fine. The clutch, the same thing, but the brake, it's where it's at. So, but again, it's personal preference. So some people prefer the travel distance to be more consistent than the brake pressure. It's totally personal preference. I believe the pressure is more consistent, but this will not to make you to go faster or get more I rating. This is just will help to get more consistency. Daniel Gray, it's an Australian streamer. I think he's Australian. He did a challenge with the 29 and he managed to reach 3K or 4K. I think 3K I rating with the 29 and the pedals. And I truly believe that to be true. So this will not make you go faster. It will make you more consistent. Okay, so you can improve our lap times by consistency. 10th there, 20th there, consistency, and overall it will get you, well, for intents and purposes, you will be faster. Okay, so if you're coming from a G29, it's first of all, should you upgrade your pedals to these ones? If you have the €200 to spend, yes, that's the first thing you should do. Don't upgrade your direct drive, don't upgrade your wheel, start by the pedal set. This will actually make you more consistent and has a result faster. Okay, you can get more consistency using this type of pedal set. So I'm showing you the CSL pedals, the CSL Load Cell Kit, because at the time of this recording, and when I was doing my research, they were one of the most inexpensive ones. You also have the Ozzoy kit. It's similarly priced, but at the time of this video, it's a little bit more expensive. But you cannot go wrong with either one. Okay, you cannot go wrong with either one. So I went to the CSLs because they were on promotion. They had a very high pay, a very high cut. So I made use of the promotion. Okay, let me just put this down to get the idea. So you need to get this. Okay, and you can get this as a bundle on the Fanatec's website. You can get the pedals only, but then you have a regular brake. You don't have the load cell brake. So if you buy the pedals plus the load cell upgrade, so you can have 3 pedals: the clutch, the brake, and the accelerator. Because I believe the brake becomes the clutch by removing a little piece. I believe, if I remember correctly. So in the end, you get 3 pedals: the 2 plus the load cell brake pedal. You have 3 pedals, and you can have an accelerator, the load cell brake, of course, and the clutch. In my case, I only have the accelerator and the brake because it allows me to have my legs more comfortable side by side, so it makes things a little bit more comfortable to me. Another thing to notice is that if you're going the load cell route, it's very hard to keep your pedals on the floor. Okay, if you go the load cell route, it's very hard to keep the pedals loose on the floor against the wall. You can make it work. But it's highly advisable that you just bolt them down into some sort of rig or cockpit or any other thing you can think of. So don't leave it on the floor. I have tried it, trust me. So before I can talk about this, I had to experiment first. I had tried to put them on the floor just against the wall, and you have to put so much pressure with your leg that the whole thing will just jiggle around, and you'll just lose control where the pedals are. Unless you are more gentle than I am. But it's very advisable to bolt this down to some sort of cockpit or some sort of rig that will keep them in one place, very secure. So you saw the system, you saw that the G29s and similar ones are actuated by travel distance. This is 80%, 80%, 80%, or any other value. Load cells are by the pressure. You apply pressure, and of course it requires training. It requires you to experiment and repeat and get that muscle memory. If I went back to my G29 right now, I would struggle for a bit to get the brake pressure right back on the right track. But now I'm very well used to the load cell kit. So G29s, travel distance. The load cell kit, it's by pressure. You apply pressure and not distance. Again, if you have the option to experiment first, to test, to see if it's something that it suits you, you should experiment and see if that's the case. Overall, I gain consistency, and so I can make the laps with very similar times every single time, because evaluating distance, it's hard. Because the pedal, it's soft, so it's hard to move your feet always to the same distance. And of course, you cannot be looking at your telemetry. That will just make you lose time. So travel distance is a little bit less precise and much harder to train your muscle memory. Pressure, it's much simpler. It has much less travel, and you can just push, let go, push, let go. You can achieve more consistent results with that. Should you upgrade your G29 pedals to a load cell? If you have the money, yes. It's definitely a good and the upgrade to make before the wheel. Upgrade your pedals before the wheel. Upgrade your pedals before anything else. So the pedals should be the first thing you should upgrade in terms of racing experience, gaining time, and gaining consistency. Let the wheel be next. Okay? If you have the money to spend on everything at once, perfect, fine, awesome. Fanatec has some good bundles about that. But if you are willing to upgrade just one thing first, do the pedals. Accelerator is fine. It's just a spring. Clutch, you can push the clutch on the button. It's also fine. But the brake, it's where it's at. So a good load cell brake will make you more consistent, by consequence, faster by increasing our consistency. Another thing, if you buy the load cell kit with the load cell pedals, with the load cell pedal, that load cell pedal can directly, or the whole shebang, the whole thing can connect to your PC via USB. Okay, so that's also a plus. So if you have any questions, I'm really happy to answer all the beginner people that want to have some questions about this subject. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. I'm really happy to answer them. In the meantime, like and subscribe, it really helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.